We've got, is it Richard?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad.
My question, I got to make this quick. I'm at work here. But,
and we got 11 minutes left.
Okay, cool. The tone of atheism in the last year I've seen a shift in it to being more of a militant atheism. You see it with the popularity of Dawkins' new book, all over the internet, TV, the War on Christmas, for example, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
We got two interesting tangents already.
Right.
So the War on Christmas is not an atheist thing. It's a we're so persecuted. The atheists are trying to get us. Yeah.
Actually, I'm referring to the God Who Wasn't There movie.
Right.
That they're taking into the churches on Christmas and Easter and hiding them in the hymnals to show them a real war on Christmas.
Yeah, I had kind of mixed feelings about this. I'm not a big. I don't think characterizing it as militant atheism is remotely a good thing. I mean, it's meant to be negative in what it is. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean, I'm sure people would consider me a militant atheist. I've been blatant that I'm no longer going to show blanket respect and kind of sugarcoat my commentary out of respect for somebody's religious beliefs.
Sure, and I'm an atheist too. I totally agree with you there.
No, and I didn't mean to imply that you weren't.
No.
I'm just saying that.
But you're starting off at the beginning of the show saying that we're not going to take this anymore.
Sure.
I totally agree with that. But do you think that this is as a result of the rise of the evangelical movement? Because in the past it's been more pacifistic. Hi, we're atheists. We're not the big evil Satan.
Right. I think what we found is that didn't get us anywhere. That in fact it moved us backwards. That maybe, despite the fact that some people objected, maybe Madalyn Murray O'Hair did more for atheism by being, vocal and belligerent than other people have. Right. And I don't agree with her about everything, and I didn't always find. And I'm sure there are people who've characterized me as what was it the personality of Bill O'Reilly on PCP, which now it just makes me laugh. I think what we're seeing, I hope what we're seeing, is that you've got a whole bunch of people out there who don't really believe what the rest of society believes. And they're starting to say, you know what? I've been quiet. I've tried to be respectful about other people's beliefs. I've tried not to step on toes. I tried to stay out of this whole creation and evolution debate thing. And I tried to just care about, kids and let's try and get them educated. Right. And maybe a little bit of religion leaks into the schools. And they wake up one day and they're in some place like Lubbock where the only sex education that kids get is abstinence only. They're given misinformation about condom use. They're given misinformation about how to properly have safe sex. And they have
surprised, the birth rates are high.
The birth rate, the teen pregnancy rate, the sexually transmitted disease rate is through the freaking roof there. And I think atheists are starting to wake up and say, maybe I should say something. Now, not everybody needs to go out and do what I do, which is.
I've had a Christian friend of mine actually tell me that I'm a missionary for atheism and how they disagree with that.
Hey, and I'm a preacher.
Yeah, there you go.
And of course, depending on who you talk to, I'm working for Satan. So,
and as a missionary, shouldn't I get funding? But anyway,
that's right. If I sold my soul to Satan, later. Shouldn't I have gotten more out of it than this shirt?
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah, we got like 7 minutes left.
Well, if we're speaking out for atheism, it's is that being militant? Is that being a missionary? Is that
I don't know.
If you have an opinion and you're voicing it, is that evangelicism? I don't know.
Can you be a militant scientist or militant on behalf of the truth? I'm just basically if I think the thing is
I feel like I'm sort of defending the defending reason and science and the truth.
Well, this whole notion of militant atheism, it really to me stems from this myth of Christian persecution. Mm-hmm. It plays into that idea that, we're being persecuted and our beliefs are being persecuted and it's all because of those militant, evil, nasty atheists. Right. No, if you're hitting somebody upside the head with a stick, as I've said probably 1,000 times, and I stop you from doing that, I'm not violating your rights. I'm not persecuting you just because you're no longer allowed to beat somebody. But
And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.